So instant cash methods. Now, there are going to be times in any business. You can be an online business or a brick and mortar business, or you can be, let's say, a freelancer. It can be any kind of business or organization. You are going to have times where you are going to need to supply an influx of cash. Maybe you might have a conference you want to go to, or there is a product that you really do have to buy, or it could be in your personal life. You've got to put something down, or you've got to you've got to make a payment, and you don't necessarily have time for let's say a plan to come into place, right? You really need to make something happen. But here's the dilemma about that, right? How many of you all find this to be the case? You really do. You're an internet marketer. You find yourself wanting to and needing to have an influx of cash, but you don't want to be a fast cash business, right? So if you have that dilemma, or you've ever had that dilemma, put the number 1 in the question box. So you need to put something and you need to make something happen, but you don't want to be a fast cash business. You don't want to go that route. And so basically what we want to talk about is, what if you could do something temporarily and you wouldn't derail what you're doing? So in other words, let's say you're working on CPA marketing in your internet marketing business, and you don't want to derail that in order to become a fast cash business. You want to find something that you are going to be able to do to put some things in place. And regardless of what niche you're in, right, you really do want to have ways of putting your hands on cash quickly, right? So, and we, out of everyone, we are information marketers. So we ought to know some ways that we can put our hands on things quickly, right? That's part of what we do. A number of you who are on this call, regardless of when you started, would you say it's fair to say you have some marketing skills? You know how to do something. You know how to do a YouTube video. You know how to do an article. So everybody on this call, I'm going to assume you have some marketing skills. You know how to put together an autoresponder. You know how to program a WordPress blog. You know how to install a WordPress blog. You know how to put together a Facebook page. So if I were to say, right, everybody on this call, you have some marketing skills. Now, if that's true, I want you to put the number 2 in the question box, because I think it's true of everyone. Everybody on this call, you're on this call because you can do something toward helping somebody in their online business or helping yourself. You probably own some internet marketing assets, right? You own some PLR. You own maybe a membership site. You own a membership to, let's say, some kind of content membership. Everybody here, right, you have some asset. You have something that you bought that you can use in your internet marketing business, right? So if that's true, I want you to put the number 3 in the question box. You own some kind of internet marketing asset. So if you have those things, right, you are going to be able then to do something toward moving towards something that you can do for fast cash. Now, you may even have something that you can create quickly, right? So in other words, some of you are writers. Some of you are video creators. Some of you have all of these little special talents. You could put something together really quickly. Just doesn't make sense to, because you probably wouldn't get paid what you're really worth about it. But you can put together something quickly. Some of you all are that way. And some of you all probably have something that somebody wants. Right? You probably have something that somebody wants. So as we start talking about fast cash, let's get the obvious out the way, right? I want to say this, and I know you know this already. I'm going to have to say it anyway. So I know I'm preaching to the choir, but let me preach to the choir anyway for a second. Number 1, you do have to be building a niche in some niche. Otherwise, you are going to be in the same position in the future. Right? So whatever you're doing, this is going to be temporary. Stuff we're going to be talking about tonight is going to be temporary. But look, you cannot stop building your brand and your business in a niche. Otherwise, you will be in the same position. So in other words, you cannot turn your whole life into a fast cash business. I need to say that. As an information marketer, you cannot stop building what you're building. So whatever you're building right now, right, that cannot stop. Now, you may not have all day, all night to do it. But if you are working toward a product creation business. You have to keep working toward that. If you are working toward building out your list for affiliate marketing, you have to keep working toward that even while you do a instant cash method. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you? I want you to put the number 4 in the question box. So again, if you're going to build, you have to keep building. Otherwise, this is not going to stop. Again, now this is the part you're not going to want to hear, but I'm going to say it anyway. You have to work on this part of your business every day. So even while you work on the thing that you're trying to do to put cash in your business fast, you cannot stop doing this, and you cannot skip days working on building your brand and your business. You can't stop doing that again. Otherwise, this is going to happen again. Now, I'm going to make a little analogy here, and you probably heard this first. How many of you have heard when people are talking about personal finance that the key to accumulating wealth, right, is learning to save by paying yourself first? How many of you have heard that? So if you've heard that, please put the letter Y in the question box. In other words, you've heard that people say that when it comes to personal finance, the key to accumulating wealth is that you pay yourself first, right? Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that. That means that you are saving a specified portion of your income, and you're doing that on a regular basis. Now, here's the thing. You have to apply the same principle to your internet marketing business. I really do want you to hear me on this. I don't care how difficult it's going in your business. You can't stop doing it, and you have to pay yourself first. In other words, you have to do something tangibly to build your audience every single day for your business. It's like paying yourself first. You must pay yourself first in your business. Otherwise, it will never become what you wanted to become, what you got in internet marketing for it to become, for you to invest all the time that you've invested, for you to invest all the money you've invested. It will never become that if you do not build something tangibly every single day. So you still have to pay yourself first in terms of your time. You must be producing some kind of information constantly so you can give people benefiting them in some way every day. That's paying yourself first in your internet marketing business. In other words, you still do this even though it's not going to give you something immediately. Does that make sense? So that makes sense to you? Put the number 5 in the question box. You must pay yourself first in your marketing business. You have to keep doing that. So I'm going to first talk about the non-business methods. Let's talk about non-business ways for you to put money in your pocket tomorrow. Non-business ways, non-internet marketing business ways. First, sell assets, right? Everybody now, especially those of you who are in the U.S., right? The folks here in the U.S., we've got more stuff than we know what to do with, right? You could be, depending on where you live in the world, that could be the same thing with you also. But you're going to be able to put your hands on some assets. Whatever you have that isn't bolted down, if you don't need it tomorrow, sell it, right? You got to put cash in your pocket. Now, again, if it's a luxury, if it is something that you can do without, if it's something that you don't have to have in order to survive, put it on the market and sell it. And again, that's a hard choice to make, and it's easier for me to tell you that. It's going to be easy for you to tell that, for you to tell yourself that. But this is, you really do have to be willing. When you've got to, let's say, you want to buy a membership site, and you know a membership site's going to be, let's say the one you want to buy is going to be $1,000, and you don't have $1,000 in your pocket, but you know you got to get that membership site in order to do your business. And so you got to have an influx of $1,000. Well, guess what? You've got stuff in your house. You've got stuff around your garage if you have one. You've got stuff at, let's say, mom's house. You've got stuff at your kid's house. You've got stuff all over the place. Get that stuff and sell it, right? Get rid of it, right? Sell it on eBay, right? Sell it. If you have an emotional attachment to it, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to develop an emotional attachment to getting your membership site. You need to get an emotional attachment to getting your page builder. I know a number of internet marketers. Now listen to me carefully here. I know a number of internet marketers who put off getting a $200 or $300 page builder, and they get the cheapest thing that comes along, and then they've got stuff in their house that they just sell it, get the $300, they could get the thing they really need. So if that's you, I don't want you to be that person. If you've got stuff in your house and it's not bolted down, you don't need it, you're trying to build a business, sell it. Right? And sell it on eBay. Sell it on Craigslist. Now, Craigslist is not now for ladies, it's probably not going to be the safest place to do it, and for some of you guys too. Right? Craigslist is not necessarily the safest way, but look, if that's going to be the only way you can get rid of this stuff, right? Use Craigslist. Right? Now again, I'm going to say this to you, be careful. Right? Now I don't go to a Craigslist deal unless I have somebody with me. Right? Now the shoji screens that you see behind me in some of the sets sometime, I got those on Craigslist. But again, it is rare when I go to get something and I go by myself. I always go with somebody with me. You do have to meet in a public place and try to take somebody with you. Right? Lee Wood says meet at Starbucks. It's exactly right. Sell it on Facebook, right? Again, there are marketplaces on Facebook. Again, depends on where you live in the world, right? You can generally find between Facebook, Craigslist, and eBay, or maybe even your classified ads. But again, I think you understand my point. Whatever is in your house right now, right? Whatever's in your possession, you don't need it. You're trying to build a business and you don't have the stuff you need. Get that stuff and sell it. Another thing you can do for non-business, again, this is non-business. Again, I'm talking about temporary, drive for Uber or Lyft, right? Depends on where you live in the world and how long you wait for your money. Now, if you got to have the money like tomorrow, you're not going to be able to do Uber or Lyft. But as long as you got a decent car, you can drive for Uber or Lyft. And I have not met a person yet. And this is from teeny boppers to grandparents. Haven't met one yet who doesn't love driving it when they do it. I'm not going to say you're going to love it, but again, you got to put some money if you got to put money in your account tomorrow, and you got to do it fast, and you got to be flexible with your time, consider doing Uber or Lyft, right? Depending on where you live in the world. Now,